Is the SP 500 on the verge of a very rare buy signal? Let's take a look into our daily SPY analysis and find out. Today is Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Again, if you've not done so already, don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, comment your thoughts, and come find me on CarnivoreTrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Multiple winners across both services today. By the way, and the gain train keeps on going here as we get further into the year. So anyway, let's talk about this. So spiders today, first of all, having a pretty good rally. So a little bit of a dip and rip, we kind of call it. Gap down, flush the low, retested 599 area, and you can see my little yellow, one of those previous trend lines here that got tested, and we got a nice bid off of that. And you can see, we'll talk about this in a second. But we're starting to flag here on the macro, kind of in the macro sense there. But right now, non-farm payroll is Friday. That's going to be the big mover this week. And if we take a look at the pre-market, ADP jobs this morning came in really hot. Like, I think it was like a beat by like a 33% of expectation. It was like 133% of expectation. And all we did was dip for like 10 points, and then we just ripped. We had a little sell on ISM, just a fake sell, little retest of the low here, and we just ripped higher pretty much all day long. And additionally, the thing that really catches my eye is we look at bonds. Here's ZB, which we'll talk about TLT in a second, because you guys know the target hit. We've been talking about this for a month. But take a look here at ZB. It didn't really move down on either of those hot prints. So bonds here are just defiant right now. And you can see here, there's that TLT target that we talked about, you know, back at 85. And by the way, let me tell you something before we get into the real SPY stuff here. I'm starting to hear the chirping going on here. And that, you know, I like to think that I've done a pretty good job of figuring out kind of reading the temperature of the room in the bond market. Back here, you know, in, where was it? The late summertime. Sorry, get this up here. There we go. Late summertime, or actually early fall, everybody was calling for deflation again. And this is where we were buying yields, and we made some nice money on this move. And, you know, we said that yields were going to top out right around here. We looked for 85 specifically on TLT, and that was the low. And now we're at 90, which is our target. But the room is starting to chirp a little bit more, right? All these macro guys that were dead silent about yields at the lows here, they were freaking out about yields. They weren't freaking out about bond prices going up. Now they're starting to say, oh, well, we're, you know, deflation coming in, disinflation. See, all you dumb inflationists don't know what you're doing. So they're getting a little more confident now. That said, TLT 90 will be some resistance. I did close out my long bond positions here for nice gains. A huge runner on ZB and a nice gain on TMF. But if that consolidates again, we can go to 93, and then they will get extremely loud. So I'll be looking to fade that. So that's the preview should that take place. Now let's get into the spiders here, and I want to talk about this. So I do use the McClellan every now and then, and it is reliable when it does get to extremes. And most notably, you know, recently I warned about I warned about us kind of getting a little bit of a warning signal on the spiders a few weeks ago. That was one of the reasons. Plus 200 is, you know, usually a no-brainer. Likewise, you know, down here we were looking for a low, right? It was minus 300. That's a big drop, right? So we were looking for lows here. But if you look at here, we've been going sideways for 3 months now. And you're starting to put in this kind of like, I don't have like I think I have a half circle here on this toolbox, but you guys get the idea, like round cup and handle type look with a flag, right? Pretty obvious. If we look on the weekly though, with the higher high and the higher lows, it should be, theoretically, we should be getting more overbought, but this is saying we're getting more oversold, which means that breadth is starting to get to a point where things are looking for, we should be getting a thrust here. The last time we did something like this was, you know, November into April, right? So this divergence kind of played out in 3 weeks, and then it just took off. But we were already hitting the 100 line right by the low, whereas here we've already kind of hit it. So what I'm saying here is that this is telling us that we're close to a bottom, even though we're out near the highs. It's telling us we're close to a bottom if this plays out. Now, I still think you probably would need to reset the daily. So we'd probably need to bounce around inside of this flag if that's going to play out. But this could be a major bull signal that could take you up to, and I said this a few weeks ago, if this plays out, we could be looking at, 650, 660 on these spiders. Not in one straight line, but that could be, certainly on the table here. That would be a trend leg, some type of blow off trend leg. It's certainly possible. Don't think it's not. Why is it not? Why is it not possible, guys? I'll tell you the same reason it's possible, for the same reason why Palantir is going up. People keep shorting it. Oh, their valuation, their valuation. Your shorts are more important than their valuation. And honestly, with Palantir, it's about future earnings. But again, beside the point. People didn't think Apple was going to 260 when I called for it back when it was at 200. So point being, keep an open mind. So I think it's pretty possible here. Now, again, we got non-farm payroll coming up Friday. So again, maybe that's a catalyst for another dip here. Again, I do think we need to reset that McClellan, at least on the daily, if we're going to go higher, but definitely something to pay attention to. I wouldn't bring it up if I didn't think it was worth mentioning. But right now in the short term, 605, still some resistance. We went right to our intraday targets, by the way, at 60.55 to 60.60. Yeah, hit right there at the end of the day. Nice pop into the close. And we already got some levels done already for possibly non-farm payroll, as where we could start to see some sellers come back in. And, members know about those. So anyway, QQQ here up 45 basis points. Let's take a look at ARM. Down at 164, so a little dip there. Yeah, inside of today's range, though. So nothing terrible. By the way, speaking of semis, AMD finally came back. Let's see if this is finally a low here. I know retail's been trying to buy this thing forever. I was kind of hoping for 105. It never really got there. Got 106.50. And Google as well. I was looking for 185. We'll see. Maybe it gets there tomorrow. Maybe it gets there Friday on non-farm payroll. I think 180 to 185 are really good levels on Google. At least for short-term trades, maybe even longer than that. Obviously, a little bit of an ugly candle on the weekly, but it's not the worst. It depends on where we close too. I mean, especially if we close, above 190, that's still pretty fine. So ARM dipping here. We got Amazon tomorrow. Don't forget about that. We got jobless claims tomorrow morning as well. IWM continues to be strong here. So I did close out my runner finally on RTY. Maybe it goes a little bit higher, but this ended up being a beautiful pattern here. I would take another dip in this too. But RTY, IWM, again, still got some resistance at 230. Next level through that is 233. Diamond up 70 basis points here. No problems with that pattern at all. We kind of just got just shy of double top, and then now we're just putting in a sloppy base here. So basing beneath an all-time high. SMH, again, we talked about 245 first. That has been cleared. So even with AMD weakness, we had NVIDIA, Broadcom, which again, another thing I still have a runner in. This could go to 240, maybe 250 in the near term. That's probably about it, though. But Broadcom, NVIDIA, and TSM leading the charge here, kind of helping out that sector. Again, 250 is a massive bull bear line here. 230 NVIDIA, 130, massive bull bear line. So watch those levels. IGV, another good day here, up 66 cents. This is basing beneath a major resistance. Transports, kind of flat to positive. Got to break back above 16 too. Interest rates we talked about, but I can quickly go over. Twos starting to break that bear, right? There's the 2-year. We talked about that bear flag, aka the ZT bull flag. It's breaking, positively. 5s, 10s, 30s, all breaking down. This is textbook TA, guys. Textbook TA. So we may be looking at, 4.35, 4.33 on the 10s. Maybe even like 4.25. And then 30s, there it is right there, 4.35 to 4.25 as well. Not that far off. Only 20 basis point spread. Let's see if XHB got a bid today. It did, up 1%. Closing the gap, looks like, yeah, closing the gap and trying to turn this into a higher low. Got to see a little bit more than that, though. Gapped up and then it pulled back intraday. It did come off the lows, though, but not terrible. VNQ, nice pop. Again, we talked about this sloppy base. Let's see if that can break through 92.25. A weekly close above that would certainly be good. And then you got the red bar high all the way up at 94.58. Fins still strong here, up 1.06% on XLF. I think JPM new closing high. Bank still strong. KRE up 1. Again, pop into resistance, higher low. So good move there. It's helping out the Russell. Broker dealers here continuing to inch up as well. Oil backed off today, so kind of filling this wick essentially. I don't know what oil wants to do here. It's up, it's down, it's all around. There's some headlines driving it. We'll see if this tail candle holds. I don't really have much interest in playing it at the moment. Maybe $70 I'd get interested if we hit it like tomorrow. But that said, XLE was okay today, up 21 basis points. And it did get above, yeah, it closed above 90.11, so that's good. So we closed above that freak out candle low with the Exxon, Chevron, Conoco kind of earnings melt out, wash out. And then XOP inside day, no, nothing really wrong. OIH actually up a little bit. So this is trying to confirm a higher low too. So oil equities holding up okay. Spot oil, not as much. Nat gas on the H is still holding up. So again, we talked about 3. It bounced, it held. If this can flag here, it can try to make another leg. Otherwise, you do have room for lower highs, so just watch sellers there. They can turn that into a lower high if they want. Dollar index down again. Dollar index down with hot data. So we'll see how non-farm payroll plays out. I think dollar and bonds are waiting for the true move until Friday, but we'll see. But not a good looking candle from yesterday on the dollar and the day before rather. I almost skipped uranium. CCJ flat on the day. No changes there. Still got those bear inside bars I need to negate on these. So no changes. Gold, new all-time high, new all-time closing high. Silver, flat to lower. But this can just base out here around 33 and then break up from there. Platinum, up $6. And palladium, fractionally higher. Copper, nicely up again. That's 3 days in a row. It's rallied pretty hard. So again, we're starting to confirm a WV type look here. And if we can get through this, it's up to, back to 460, 470 area. So copper is starting to curl up as well. All right, Bitcoin, flat day. Inside, weekly is still really strong. And no problems, really. Ethereum up, down, all around. Look at that. Look at that leverage flush out. We'll see if this retraces more. But I would say, and 2,800 is still a little bit of a bull bear line right now. But if this can reclaim like 3, I think it could squeeze and become a false break. Oh, look at that liquidity grab. That's unbelievable. Or is it? It actually it is. It's totally believable. It's crypto. So anyway, markets here. Let's see. Yeah, Spider's bouncing back up. Let's see if ARM's bouncing. Yeah, not really. So bouncing back up here. Let me just check the other earnings. I think we had. Oh, we got everybody's favorite. MSTR. Yep, they're flat. We got Qualcomm as well. Qualcomm up $1 now. About, yeah. So decent move. Again, watch the bull bear line, 21.5 and above 600 will be in positive gamma. And we are right now, like we said yesterday. So we give the bulls the benefit of the doubt here. I would not rule out a little bit more volatility though before this thing tries to break out, if that's going to happen. But right now, keep it simple, short term, above 6, above 21.5. We're going to be in positive gamma. So, it's generally not something you want to fight. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here again. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I will see you guys all tomorrow.